All
Are
right,
you
so we're going to
prepared?
kick off the new segment here with IdleMMO. So they've announced two things recently,
What?
and the first is a whole new campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Crazyfy, do you want to lead us into the campaign itself?
Sure. Yeah. Look, this is Moonlight Festival. This is the campaign. It starts in a few days. Actually, it
It's
starts.
moonlit.
It's all the same. It starts 22 July, so here in the next few days, and then it will end August 5th. So it's a short one. So make sure that you switch this campaign and actually grind it out, because otherwise you won't be able to. It's just like any of the other campaigns, except this one is time-based and limited, and you won't be able to do anything. Some of the interesting things that they posted about is that you're going to be able to craft scrolls, battle unique world bosses, and explore exclusive dungeons. So I could just assume that there's going to be a location on the map pop up, and we'll be able to travel to it and do world bosses and dungeons to be able to get these different things here, like this background, this
Some elves.
skin, yeah, the elven skins, another background, Polly
There's not a lot.
Pocket like figures. I don't know.
Yeah,
These look like little kid TV
Chibi?
show characters.
like chibi-ish.
Yeah. This one's pretty cool. I actually like the Jadewater Cavern background, and then Emerald Lake background, and then these two other, a skin and a pet. So the pet's pretty cool looking. I would assume that the pet's going to be maxed out to the gills. If it goes to show with their history of with the reindeer and everything else with SimpleMMO.
I think this event, specifically the pet, is probably what people are going to be drawn to.
Yeah, for sure. I think it'll be an interesting one. Excuse me. I think that 2 weeks or whatever it may be time to do it is very fair. I think it should be no problem.
It's rough for me.
Yeah, if people are active. Otherwise, ripperoni, I guess. Screw the guild, focus on Moonlit Festival, I guess.
This looks great. It's always good to see a new campaign. Everything they've teased, or not teased, but have stated that's new this time around. These are things we've wanted in SimpleMMO.
Right.
I'm always going to I'm just going to annotate this kind of stuff because we've talked about this. Something more unique to the event, to the events in SimpleMMO. Change up the world bosses for the events, and then now they're getting exclusive dungeons. So it fits in IdleMMO because they built the game to, the framework of the game can intake all these changes. And it's good to see. I don't think this campaign was like highly talked about. It's not. I don't know if this is like a seasonal, like a guaranteed seasonal event like we would with like Halloween and Christmas and stuff, or the holidays and stuff like that. But good on them. But anyway, that's IdleMMO's new campaign. Again, it starts the 22nd of July, so here shortly, and ends August 5th. Again, that 2-week time frame. Hopefully everyone can get the pet. I mean, the pet's really what it's about, and the backgrounds are okay. So the next thing on the docket for IdleMMO, it dropped today, and it's IdleMMO's roundtable discussion. This is coming from Galahad. We can only assume it's Mike, and it's being hosted on Reddit. It's pretty much a round table, so like a feedback session that Mike is kicking to the community. I find it crazy. I find Reddit an interesting choice. I didn't know IdleMMO had like a established Reddit.
They don't. They have 72 members.
Yeah, so why not just have this as like a forum post in the Discord?
Yeah,
I think that would have been way better.
That they would. I feel like they would get more feedback because there's thousands of people in that Discord.
Yeah, but it's being hosted on Reddit, and Mike said that we are introducing a series of discussions where everyone has an equal voice regarding various mechanics in the game. I don't know about that. I would very much just see what is your current feedback right now on X mechanic, because you don't really want to. I really don't like it when devs like change their game because people they don't stick to their guns on some aspect. But yeah, I don't. It's very interesting word choice there, because if I go in there and say battles suck, Am I now equal to you, Mike? But anyway, what do you think about this, Crazy Pie?
I think it's an interesting way to reach out to the populace that plays the game. I mean, he does talk about like it's incredibly important to have a vision for the game. So I'm sure that's what they're like. This is the vision. Based off of the vision, what do you guys think of everything so far? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how many comments they get. So they're talking about the battling system for this one.
Yeah, I think it's the biggest eyesore for IdleMMO right now.
Yeah, I would agree for sure. So far they've had 31 comments with Maven being
Maven the first.
Yeah, but
or best.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe they're also trying to drive traffic to the Reddit subreddit so that they could get people to then find that subreddit and then come to the game. I don't know. I don't know what their thought process is there for using Reddit, but it is interesting. It is always nice when a developer does reach out to the community and ask, like, hey, what are your thoughts? Because that makes the community feel important. It'll be interesting to see what or any type of critiques or criticisms that they take and implement or make changes to based off of that. Oh, look at that. So there you go. There's the answer. We just had to scroll down. Dude. But yeah, I don't know. I think it is interesting.
Weak.
It'll be interesting. Like, we have 5,000 people playing this game right now. For like a fifth of them were to leave comments. There's going to be a lot of comments to go through and suss through and figure out what's a legitimate criticism and what could be changed and what's a good idea. It's going to be a lot of work if this gets a lot of traffic. Good luck to them.
I know he says a series, which is good, but
yeah.
I think adding multiple, topics within one post is just, you're asking for it. Like, it's gonna be so hard to track into, an eyesore to read through all this. Maybe he should have just opened up. Well, I guess it is just the battling system right now, but there are other topics being discussed down below. I don't know, but anyway, it's a good move. SimpleMMO, this in the future? Probably not. I don't know. We're all salty. We're so salty. I think it's too dangerous to do this with SimpleMMO. But that's IdleMMO. That is the Moonlit Festival that's incoming, and we have these new roundtable discussions. But if you want to just quickly go over the patch notes.
Yeah. So for this one, it's 1.0.3 and 1.0.4. 0.3 focused on the skills, giving an estimate tab. And it's an hourly average for actions. We didn't used to have that for like gathering specifically, I think it was. So it is kind of nice, though it's shown that it's not completely accurate, but it gives you an idea, which I like that. And then now 0.4 is gathering quests can now be done in the outskirts. This crafting tome now uses market minimum price for crafted item. Donating items to the guild will increase your gold contribution to the guild based off of the market minimum value, and then we got a red dot for notification, so nothing too crazy.
So you see in like the top left, it's just like, oh, there's a notification.
Yeah, which I don't get on browser, but it is
on mobile. It's there.
Yeah.
So just general QOL, just general balancing as the release continues forward. Nothing really crazy here. The outskirts is definitely a quality of life change for the quest itself. For those who are farming the outskirts to get specific recipes for their house, they can knock two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the the meat of the Ironwood RPG topic, and that's our general thoughts, the strategies involved in this game from our perspective, and our hopes for the game moving forward. I can go ahead and kick it off with we'll start with our thoughts here.
Yeah.
And I gave a little bit of this last stream where I was just like really focused on the release and the vibes of the release, the buzz in the Discord, and the leaderboard chasing like instantaneously for you would think it's such a niche game with a small community. It was just popping. So yeah, it was popping. So a week after, my thoughts are I still feel that Ironwood RPG for an idle MMO, like a pure idle game, it feels extremely alive. If you go to the Discord, there's always, just like an IdleMMO, there's always discussions, spreadsheets being passed, um, screenshots of people's achievements within the leaderboard, or items being, or rare drops. Even our own guild member Jurg, who from previously Yi in SimpleMMO, she was like one of the first to get a accessory drop in the game. It was like a 1% chance or something like that.
Yeah.
So it feels like a AAA MMO release to me in that regard, from being someone who that's all they used to play. And there's no, and I want to highlight this, there's no chat feature in the game. This is something I've criticized IdleMMO for. So very much the community is built into the Discord, but first it feels more like I could pop in there, and it's got a different feeling than IdleMMO. IdleMMO's Discord, to their credit, is insanely popular. There's tons of people in there. Ironwood, there's people joining every day, but I don't feel like some level of intimidation going in there. And the game's not full of like ex SimpleMMO banned players who just pretend they were never assholes, So like it's the community's more fresh in my eyes. And then another thought that comes to mind is, it's the easiest way I can describe it. It's an accessible Melvor idle clone. So of course Melvor, it's based off RuneScape, which gets its blessing. You buy it once, buy once, cry once on Steam. It's got its own expansions. It's pretty much the MMO experience, is the cream of the crop MMO experience at a single player perspective. But I just think this is a more accessible, not dumbed down, but limited version of Melvor. It's got the guilds, it's got leaderboards, it's got a dynamic market, and that actually like functions. Players are incentivized to sell above minimum price, to make deals with each other. I get DMs because I'm on the wood cutting leaderboard to provide wood if I'm able to like haggle my wood prices. Like, it's very MMO-y feeling. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. Someone tried to get me to undercut my teak wood, and I was like, "You rat bastard!"
Dang.
I know. And my final thought is just, progression in this game feels really good, and it translates well into the leaderboards. Like the visual progression, because we don't really get this in SimpleMMO, because like a lot of the items are trash, and then you basically have to save to buy anything, and it takes like a whole year playing, it feels like. Or you get lucky with a drop, which almost never happens to anyone I know. I'm kidding. People, they'll spend like 5K, or they'll buy 5,000 chests and they'll get something. But the visual progression in this game, and the skill progression, the different tiers of armor and weapons and blah blah blah, it just feels good. And the leaderboard, the raw numbers and positioning, I don't know. I'm motivated to chase it at a guild level and a personal level. So those are my thoughts on Ironwood Boost 1.0 release, and they haven't really changed since testing this game out prior to 1.0. But Crazy Fly, I would love to hear your thoughts on it now that you're back from the grave.
Yeah, I was when they first announced that it was going to go into 1.0 and out of alpha, I was kind of surprised. I was like, really? Like, dang, all right. But it makes sense. It's a full game. Like, it's already a full game. Hold on, let me just claim my silver.
You're literally playing it while we're...
Yeah, I got to. I have to. I was doing all the guild stuff. I didn't have time to do my quests.
I am not gathering during a combat event. You are crazy.
Mine's done. Anyways, yeah, like what you said, like I get really bored of idle games after a while, because it becomes very much like press a button and then come back 24 hours later and hope you get the item you need, because hey, you might not get it, and then hello, another 24 hours, and it's like, well, this is like no point in this game. And even though like the timer goes out longer every time that you advance into this game, I feel like there's a nice balance between things you could do still versus things that like taming alone, like being able to interact in that while you're still doing some other type of aspect, or even taking a pause on the long-term builds and going into the guild and doing all the challenges or whatever it is that you got to do, or the quest for the day, and then going back to the long-term plan that you have going on. it's a very nice balance where it's keeping me active throughout the day, even though it's still an idle game. And it's a pure idle game. There's no hybrid portion to this, really. And yeah, the combat is hard. They smack you around quite a bit, but at the end of the day, like, the grind is very rewarding, and it feels good every time you move up, because it's not like too hard, but it does make you work for it, and you have to think through how you're going to get to the point that you want to be at, because there's a lot of dependencies between the different skills, which I do like.
Yep.
Some of it, though, there's like too many dependencies. I'm like, ah, damn it, like, at this point, fuck it, I'm just going to do everything. But yeah, overall, it feels clean. It's amazing that this game, like, there's no paid features to it. It's all donation based. And there's a community built around it through the Discord. Except there's, even though there's no like chat or anything like you said, it's by far the best idle game I've ever played. It's stellar. I love it. So
yeah. So let's move. That kind of like moves into the strategy portion here, with like the skills tying in too, because really, strategy in my eyes falls into categories. It's the skill aspect, and for me personally, the social aspect. And so these strategies, if you're looking to get into this game, but it's like, I don't know if I would like it, give it a shot. Focus on 2 skills that complement combat. So for instance, right now I do cooking and fishing, so I can have food to participate in combat, because you really need food. You will die. You need food to do combat, okay? So just pick our 1 or 2 skills and then explore the game that way. We have friends from the SimpleMMO community who join us, and they do just that. Shadow joined us. Never really played the game. He is Zoomer brain, as he said in his comment, which we'll go over later. And he's like quickly one of the richest players in the game. So just do something that's fun, but also give back to your guild. Okay, this is a guild leader speaking here. Another strategy I want to talk about is just continuing to learn from the Ironwood RPG community. I'm more motivated to do that, to ask questions. We're fortunate enough we have pros in the game who are like from a top 12 guild, who were with us before 1.0, and then they wanted to try to beat their nemesis within the game, because they have some lore going on with a whole other group from Idle Clans, I believe. But learn from them and continue to progress with CouchCat as a guild. And then also, we want to continue to build our own community within Ironwood RPG, whether that's in our own Discord, because we have the Ironwood RPG text channel, or within the Ironwood RPG Discord itself. But yeah, those are just like some very basic strategies. Like, I'm looking like at short term and long term, community wise, really. Like, I'm sure Crazy if I could do a tutorial video on this in the future, and that will, if anyone is like a little iffy on the game, I'm sure that would kind of like ease you into it. Crazy would probably like make a video and just hit go. What'd you have in mind for strategies before moving on to the final segment?
Yeah, so I'll tell you, when I walked into the game, when it did the wipe, I was like, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm work on wood cutting, mining, smelting, and smithing. Those are going to be my 4. I'm going to grind those out to 25, and then I'm going to go get the the blueprints, and I'm going to get those, and I'm going to grind out that, and then about like 2 days into it, I was like, oh, but you know what? Alchemy could be pretty fun. Oh, you know what? Like, I need to cook some, because I got to get ready for some combat. Oh, I need to go fishing so I can do some taming. I really need to fish right now to do some taming. And like, I had a full-on plan of like how I was going to do it. And dude, I have gone all over the place. I am only doing range and defense, though, when it comes to combat. I'm no longer doing one-handed and two-handed. Like, I'm not going to touch those. But everything else, I'm like, ooh, this could be a little fun. I got a few extra things I could slide that way. Oh, enchanting? Maybe I'll do a little bit. Just a little bit. But I need some bones for my alchemy. So I went from
for you to examine.
Yeah. Okay. ED. Anyways. I went from having a strategy of what I was going to do to dominate, and then I was like, you know what? I'm going to enjoy my time. I'm going to get as much gold as I can to the guild, and I'm just going to enjoy it. And so I've been bouncing around now. It is cool to see a lot of people focus on like one or two skills, but then I don't want to be locked into that. And so I was like, I'm just gonna do it across the board. I don't care. So that's that. I threw my strategy out the window and said, let's just do it all. Why not? I'm sure there's a few other people, but like the top tier guilds, the way that they do it, if they have like specific people assigned to potions, specific people assigned to cooking, specific people assigned to like wood cutting, and then like the creating of armor and weapons, and then combat people. Like they have like very specific people doing things, and they're trading amongst each other to push further, which is really calculated and a lot of work. And props to them. That's just ridiculous. That is just absolutely ridiculous. I'm not hardcore like that.
So, is there anything else, or do you want to go right into your hopes for the game?
Yeah, I'll go into my hopes. I'll start first because you stole mine. I want seasonal guilds in Ironwood RPG. I brought it up as a game discussion within the Discord, for the official Discord already. Mickey never responded to it, but other players did. I like to have like one leaderboard, like all-time leaderboard would be great, but then also do seasonal, because guilds could go up to a level cap of 200, and then from there it's just how much EXP you gain. But because of these top tier guilds like BMT Rift and Guild right here, they're going to be on the top forever because they've had more time than say a new guild that just showed up today and grinded just the same amount. Because they have more time on them, they're never going to be able to pass them. So to be able to have like I don't know, take the average time it takes for like the top 20 guilds to reach level 200 and excuse me, and make that a season, and then you repeat it over and over again so it's fresh, so new guilds could potentially become top 5. I think that's what we need in the game. So that's what my thoughts are. What about you for your hopes and dreams?
Yeah, to essentially say what you said, because it would be awesome to do more content within the idle, like, esport content within the idle space, because it's just interesting to us. But yeah, definitely guild seasons, some type of legacy guild leaderboard like we have in SimpleMMO. That was one of the things I asked early on, but never got an answer to. But to capture the original positioning, and then everything else is just going to be seasonal. And if no seasons, maybe like how we do with the SGL, or how we interpret the SGL, there's brackets so that different ranks on the leaderboard. It's not just like the top 3 here with trophies. Other ranks could mean something, or motivate people to strive for, like, oh, I'm now number 10, I'm the top 10 guild, but there's still no trophy by my name, right? So maybe some type of bracket to give more meaning to more ranks. And then I was thinking about this, and idle clans, they have active combat groups that you can idle in. Like, you set it up. Nauri is here, one of our mods. She was always in our party when we played idle clans. But yeah, I think group combat, like a mini raiding group, in the same vein as how guild members can sign up to events, where they go to the event tab and they click join, the active event. Maybe guilds can also, a raiding group of like 5 to 6 members, and they have, their combat mains join that group and, generate more EXP, or, treat it like an outskirt raid where they're gathering something, but they're also killing mobs and getting drops from the mobs that deposits into like guild buildings or something. So I think that would be really cool to play with in the future. Otherwise, like you said, minutes ago, it's a full game. So I mean, it can only quality of life can only improve the game so much from here. But maybe we'll have seasons. There were seasons in testing, like Halloween and the holiday season. I think those were the only 2. Easter maybe had one. I can't remember, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's Ironwood RPG in a nutshell, and that's our impressions. Some basic strategies if you're looking to get lost in the sauce, and our hopes with the game. And of course, we'll continue to cover it and play it. We're a top 20 guild, and we're trying to be highly competitive in this game. So if that's something you're into, maybe stop by our Discord. We have an Ironwood RPG text channel, and join the waitlist to get into the guild. That's all I
Yeah.
got. Yeah.
Wowzer.
And that's the news segment of of Couch Cat's Thursday stream, where we covered IdleMMO, Ironwood RPG. Nothing to talk about with SimpleMMO, but